Greg Diaries, people, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, we have a guest and we are talking transfers yet again. Big up to Egal from Egal Talks Football coming over to the show yet again to talk a bit more about what's going on in the world of Arsenal. Madueke looks like a deal that you guys are going for, with Plettenberg confirming he's one of the top options for the wing target you guys are looking at. How do you feel about that?
It's funny how you mentioned Madueke, but you don't mention the other guy. You don't mention Eze. It's funny how you don't mention Rodrygo.
I said winger. That's what I said. I said winger option.
It's funny how you don't mention Rodrygo.
You know yourself.
You don't mention Rodrygo.
No,
0 minutes for Real Madrid over multiple games in the Club World Cup. This is what I need. Xabi Alonso, keep it up. You're talking about Chelsea's Maresca. Maresca's going to give him minutes in the Club World Cup. I don't got to worry about that. I know Madueke is going to play in the Club World Cup. I don't know about Rodrygo getting minutes for Real Madrid. That's what you need to worry about. Bro, I feel like this is the show where you're triggered. But before we go any further, shout out to everyone in the chat. I see the intro. I see the layout. I see you're getting closer to 5K. People keep hitting them up. But one thing I will tell you is you're triggered, bro. I know it. And the reason why I know you're triggered is because you're mentioning Madueke. You're trying to get me mad. But the reality is you're worried that my club might be moving in the right direction, doing a mad thing this window. Everyone's looking at Liverpool. Everyone's looking at Man City. They're ignoring the sleeping giant. They're ignoring the sleeping giant. Yes, we've been slumbering for a while, but bro, it's coming. And when the window lands, it's gonna be like when somebody says, "Let this man land." You know how people have arguments and like, "Let him land." When Arsenal's window lands, you guys are going to see a lineup of players, and you're going to say to yourself, you know what? The first three, they're bench players. The next two, they're good pieces to the puzzle. The final two, the crown jewels, when we drop 80 to 90 million on two players in the same window, plus have a bunch of other squad depth players, you guys are going to be shocked. I'm looking at 6 players coming in this window minimum. And at least 2 of them, game changers. Another one, Zubimendi, already through the door. Guys kept saying Real Madrid. You last stream, fair play. You said you hold your hand up about that. But this window, let Berta cook. That's the message I got to the Arsenal.
No, it sounds like Egal has got a new job and he's been hired as a dream teller, a dream seller, because he's sounding like he's selling something right now. And it sounds nice on paper, you know, in the ideal world. Arsenal are going to spend 90 million pounds on 2 players. You're going to get 90 million on Sesko. It might be 90 million on someone, Rodrygo, and we're going mad. We're going to sign the players that we want. But the reality is, you don't like Madueke. So just then, when I mentioned that signing, and the reason we mentioned him is because that's the player that's been most recently linked. You done your best impression of Floyd Mayweather. He was doing the Philly show, rolling the shoulder, trying to dodge the question. Yeah, trying to dodge and talk about Rodrygo. Yeah, our signings, strikers. But if I actually addressing, because I've seen the tweets, I've seen what you said. This ain't it. He is shit.
He's not better than Ethan. You know, he had less goals.
I actually want to know. Yeah, I actually want you.
He had less goals than Ethan in all competitions last season.
Yeah. I've said it. No, I've said the same thing. Like, I'm really confused as to why Arsenal are looking at him. Talk to me though. Like, why would Arsenal be looking at a player like Madueke? Obviously, you need a winger, but Rodrygo and him are very different. As in, Rodrygo obviously specializes off the left wing. He will come in as a replacement for Martinelli. Madueke looks like a more depth backup option for Saka. So, again, talk to us about this deal. What you think of Madueke coming to Arsenal?
We take Chelsea as a bargain shop. And we're just thinking that they're going to look to sell him for cheap. If Chelsea were looking to sell him for like 30 mil, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped that money quick for him. But the fact that they want 50 mil makes me confident that we're not going to go and get him. Why would we spend 50 million on a backup in a position that's one of our strongest positions?
You spend 45 million on Gabriel Jesus to be a backup.
No, Gabriel Jesus was supposed to start, bro. He started.
He was supposed to, but he didn't. He started for majority.
When we signed him, we gave him the highest wages in the club. And the first 6 months of Gabriel Jesus before the injury in the World Cup was outstanding. We were those first 6 months were better than the Invincibles, bro. We were better than the Invincibles per point basis. The amount of points we picked up in those first 6 months before the World Cup, if Jesus didn't get injured during the World Cup, that is a moment where we can look back and say maybe Arsenal would have won the league comfy. Because we were 8 points ahead. Everyone was saying this is unbelievable. Even you, go back to your tweets. You probably held up your hand and said Jesus was balling for Arsenal. That performance versus Palace, the performance versus friggin' Bournemouth. Man ran through the whole team, danced through everyone, was slapping it into the back of the net, passing the ball, gliding past players. He was a left winger, right winger, striker, 10, everything in one for those first 6 months. He was unbelievable. But hey, injuries happen. It's a big what if moment. If Jesus doesn't get injured for the last couple of seasons, maybe we have multiple league titles.
Nah, you're going mad. Just for going mad. But this does scream an Arsenal type signing. When you say why would you spend £50 million on a backup, I think Arsenal seem to think that £50 million is the type of money that you spend on these types of players. I think you guys are looking for a quality depth option to provide as backup for Saka. And I feel like Nwaneri's probably not viewed as a right winger as of such. I know in his academy days, correct me if I'm wrong, but he played behind the striker, more of in the middle in a 10 role. So I could see him potentially playing as an option for Odegaard. But again, like you jumped the gun earlier, but we was going to get there because another player you are interested in is that of Eze. That deal seems to be heating up. Fabrizio did come out and tweet today that he is keen on Arsenal. He would be happy with the project and what you guys are looking at to sell to him. You guys are willing to pay for the fee. It's just a case of getting stuff wrapped up. What do you feel about that? Because this is how I'm viewing it. Madueke and Eze could come in. And for one, like you said, Nwaneri, that could block his pathway into the first team because there are two players in his positions where he may not get so much more minutes anymore. But also, if you spend the 50 million on him and a 60 or 70 million on Eze, I can't see you going to get a player like Rodrygo. So, for one, talk a bit about the Eze deal, how you see him being incorporated into the Arsenal.
Did you not see Arsenal fans going crazy yesterday after David Ornstein's tweet? David Ornstein tweeted they want Eze separate to a left winger and striker. And it's already come out from multiple sources. They don't view Noni Madueke as a left winger. They view him as a backup for Saka. This is when
I know what those sources say, but I'm asking what you really think because the sources can say whatever they want, Egal, but we know
David Ornstein's not a source. David Ornstein's the source.
No, he might be the source, but how many times do these sources come out, say things, and have to take it back because the clubs don't do that? Last year, I was told Tottenham were going to sign an all-action midfielder. We signed Bergvall and Archie Gray. We didn't sign no all-action midfielder, and this is what Fabrizio and Ornstein said. So when we're saying this, I just want to know, again, back to Eze, how is Eze going to be incorporated into the team? But also, how does the Eze and Madueke deal impact the likes of Nwaneri and the potential Rodrygo deal?
First things first, I gave you guys a lot of credit when you went and got Kulusevski and Bentancur and what you did with those two signings in that January window because you had a sporting director, if I'm not mistaken, what was his name again?
Paratici,
and he made a difference in your changing of how you guys made recruitment. Romero, let's be honest, Romero and a bunch of these guys who came in your team recently is because of him. Now, Berta, I feel like is going to make that kind of difference. And here's where it links to Eze. Eze, Premier League proven, reasonable deal, 68 million. The way he fits into the team, he can play on the left wing, starter, in my opinion. He can fill in the 10 if Odegaard misses game time or needs rest or something. And if either gets injured, we now have adequate cover in the left wing and we have adequate cover in the 10. Now, here's where things get interesting. You sell Martinelli. He's the person who would need to leave the team, in my opinion, for us to be able to fund the Eze and Rodrygo deal. Martinelli gets sold for 50 million reportedly, 60, 50 million between those two, anywhere between there potentially. And I'm talking pounds, not euros.
Yeah.
And that then allows you to maybe have even more money to then spend it on Eze, a striker, and Rodrygo. And the reason why I think Rodrygo is the top of our list, even before Eze, is because they've said that they wanted difference makers, and reports have come out that Arsenal are willing to spend whatever it takes to bring in Rodrygo, meaning that they would make him the highest paid player at the club, more than Kai Havertz, meaning that they would give him a role, which means he's going to be one of the more priority players in the team, meaning guaranteed minutes, meaning wages high, meaning everything being catered to him. And Eze seems to be a player that they're looking at. They don't view as highly as that. They're not willing to make him the most important player, the most highest paid player, but they want to bring him in also. So I do think it's affordable. And the reason why it's affordable, Norgard, Kepa, cheap deals filling out the squad with players who played in the Premier League allows you to now spend more money elsewhere. Because imagine if we spent 25 million on the Norgard player, we spent 23 million on Kepa's position. That would have been an extra. That would have been an extra friggin' 30 million spent on two backups. Then now we can focus on the attack. As for how Eze is going to play, I can see the vision right now. You have Bukayo Saka and what do you call it, Eze, two players who play for England, play for their country. It kind of screams Nico Williams and Yamal. It kind of screams Rodrygo Vinny. You got two players who can feed off each other, who have that chemistry, who know how to play with each other. Why are you laughing?
Wait. Eze and Madueke is Vinny and Rodrygo.
No,
that's
Eze.
No. Hey,
no. I said Eze and Saka.
I needed.
I said Eze and Saka. Don't twist it. I did not include Madueke in this conversation. Madueke is not happening. Madueke does not have the personality to be a backup to Bukayo Saka. I don't think he's confident he can come into Arsenal and play as a starter over Saka. He's a right winger, not a left winger, not a 10. He does not want to play on the left wing. He's not going to leave Chelsea to come to a team to be a backup, to be a bit part player at the age of 23.
Do you know what I don't get?
I think he's going to end up at Newcastle or West Ham.
Yeah, I just like what you said. I'm confused as to why he would leave to end up in the same positions he's at Chelsea in, like, position-wise. Like, he's not the first option. No, because I think at Arsenal he'd be the second option. Whereas in Chelsea, there's so many options. He's first at one point, then he trickles down, then he comes back up, then he trickles back down. Whereas I think with Arsenal, at least he knows I'm gonna be the go-to off the sub bench for the right wing. That's just it. But
there's no guarantee.
Right, the Eze stuff, I think that's a needle mover for you guys. That's a proper player. And you said come in when Odegaard isn't available. I think he takes Odegaard's position in a lot of games and probably drops Odegaard to the bench. Now, obviously, with Odegaard being your captain, that does add another spanner in the works, you could say, because Odegaard should be playing every game if he's captain. But then that's another conversation for Arteta and Arsenal to have with him. But look, the deals are definitely... They're moving. Arsenal are moving in this window, and it looks like it could be wrapped up soon.
1 second. I just want to make sure you don't misquote me. I was comparing Saka and what do you call it, Eze. I never mentioned Madueke in that breath.
No, do you know what? I generally thought you meant Madueke, because when we were talking about the potential signings, I thought you meant those. But then saying Eze and Saka makes sense, even though still... Eze and Saka is not Vinny and Rodrygo, but
you know something? If they bring
me
Eze,
thank you for the title of the video. Eze and Rodrygo is our Vinny and Rodrygo.
If they bring me Eze and Rodrygo, I don't care which striker they bring me. We're good enough to win.
All right, bring me Eze and Rodrygo, and we don't need a striker.
No. I'm saying we need a striker still, but regardless who the striker
the quality is, that's what I mean. So if you've got Havertz, is he not good enough to do the role with Eze and Rodrygo there?
Bro, I seen some people throwing...
I know you want to say it, Egal. Say it, man. I know you think Havertz could do that job.
Havertz is starting the first game versus Manchester United regardless.
Yeah, facts.
Regardless. But whoever comes in, it's either we get Gyökeres, who's the gunman now, or we get Sesko, who's the potential guy. Either way, at this point, if you bring me Eze and Rodrygo, I'm willing to take whatever we get in the striker position. I'm not going to complain. I think Eze and Rodrygo come in this window. Nobody complains about the Norgards, the Kepas. Everything now makes sense because the saving in money we made in those positions everything now makes sense. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And all the people who complain, I think even the biggest complainers in the league gunners, north sides, they will be quiet for one window. If we go and get Eze, Rodrygo, Sesko, Zubimendi, Norgard, Kepa, and we go get this defender, what do you call it, Mascara? That's 7 players, bro.
Will Arsenal really go out there and do the business, people? We don't know. But look, you heard it here from your guy, Gal. He's very confident Arsenal are going to move serious in the window. They have some catching up to do.
You're worried, bro. Keep it real.
No. I'm just saying. When I see it, I may or may not be worried. At this moment in time, nothing's happened. So
all I gotta say is, title of the video: Game changers are coming to Arsenal, ladies and gentlemen. Be worried.
Game changers are coming. Look, you heard it there, people. Make sure you show some love and support. Egal's channel will be in the title and in the description of the video, so it won't be hard to find. Egal, you got any last words for them?
I already said it, man. Game changers are coming.
Game changers are coming, people. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you smash a like on your way out. It's been another Durag Diaries transfer update. Make sure you're tuned in, man. Peace.